Tom Atkins, Bruce Campbell, and Robert Z'Dar. Sounds like a good time to me. It's time to talk about Maniac Cop on Drew Reviews. So I realize the average person out there probably hasn't seen Maniac Cop. So what I want you to do right now, it's on Tubi as we speak. Pause this video, go watch it over on Tubi, and then come back. I'll be right here. All right, was that awesome or what? So in Maniac Cop, there's a killer cop on the loose, and Bruce Campbell's character of Officer Jack Forrest is set up to take the fall. And it's up to uh, Tom Atkins, who everybody who watches this channel loves. I love his character Frank McRae is the only one who can prove that he's innocent. And as the bodies mount up, it's becoming evident that there's something else going on here in the town. And Robert Z'Dar plays the titular character. He's kind of zombie-ish, and that character is really cool. And of course, this movie spawned a franchise. And his character is basically out on this personal vendetta to clean up the streets of New York City. And I feel like Robert Z'Dar was cast perfectly for this because, he had some kind of, um, I don't know, birth defect or disease to where he had these interesting he was a big guy, but he had these really interesting facial features. And he was just perfectly cast to play the Maniac Cop. When they put the scars and everything on him, he just looks like someone out of a creature feature, like The Hills Have Eyes or something like that. The grittiness of this film was amazing to me. You could almost feel and taste and smell New York City through every frame of this movie, and it's really sleazy and gritty, and that just adds to the crime element of this story. And the legendary Bruce Campbell plays pretty much a beat cop, this officer Jack Forrest, and he's of course set up. He ends up they think he's doing all these killings, and he's kind of the prime suspect in the murder of his wife. He's been cheating on her, and you should not like this character at all. But the way he's written, he is very sympathetic. That took some very good writing and some very good acting, because typically you wouldn't like a character like that. So Tom Atkins, who we love on this channel, he was great in this as always. He was, Dr. Chalice from Halloween 3. He's been in Lethal Weapon and just about everything else. And he's just amazing. And I watched this the other day for like the second or third time I've ever seen it. And I forgot that he died halfway through the movie. And me and my wife were so emotionally invested in this character that when he gets thrown out of that window and lands on that car, she actually gasped. And for just this little B movie, I thought that was really cool. You can tell a character's well written when somebody who doesn't normally like this kind of movie, has that kind of emotional reaction to a character's death. And there were some really cool deaths in this movie. Um, you know, due to the Maniac Cop, there was this scene where this guy, he's chasing this guy and he trips and falls, and there's this wet cement where they're redoing the sidewalk, and he just drowns him in the concrete. That was super creative. I appreciated that. And then there's a scene where there's these two lovers and they're drinking and driving, and he stops them at a stoplight, and he ends up killing the guy and throwing him on the windshield. And when he lands, he's spurting blood on the windshield, and she hits the windshield wipers. And that scene is amazing. Just the visual of the blood going all over the windshield. Um, Somebody was a creative genius, whoever thought that up. I appreciate it, and I applaud you, sir. I like the scenes they did with the Maniac Cop, where they were showing him when he got framed and went to prison, and it's showing what they do to a cop in prison. And there's like this shower scene with this fight, and they make Robert Z'Dar, who was a big guy, look even bigger just the way they shoot him and fight off all these guys and everything. Um, those were really good scenes. There were some things I didn't like about the film. Some of the other characters weren't very likable. Like there's this partially handicapped detective. Her name's Sally Noland, and she was the love interest to the Maniac Cop. Um, I didn't really care for her character. I don't think you're supposed to, but I just didn't really care for the way she portrayed it. There's also a scene near the end of the movie The last third of the movie takes place during this New York City parade. And this film had a low budget. I think it was shot for just over $1 million. But you can tell they shot it guerrilla style without permits, which normally I'd like that ingenuity, and that ballsiness, to film without permits and everything. But the films in a lot of the parade scenes, the graininess does not match the rest of the film. And so it kind of takes you out in that moment. And I just remember going, that looks odd. But for a film that was shot for, I think it was like $1.1 million, they did a lot with the budget they had. I like the scene at the end of the movie where they're in the armored truck having the fight, Forrest and the Maniac Cop and Forrest's love interest, and they go off the pier and everything. That was a really good scene. That's very climactic and a good way to end the movie. So in rating Maniac Cop, I'd give it a 6.7, 6 and 3/4. It's a fun movie. It does have some issues, but it also spawned what, 3 or 4 movies. All the sequels I've yet to see. The second one I hear is really good, and so I'll be watching that in the future. Maybe we might get a review in the near future on it. We'll see. So coming up, I'm going to have a review of The Hidden. Um, just got that DVD a while back and watched it and really loved it. Need to watch it again before I do the review. I'm also going to do some ranking videos. You guys seem like you liked the 1986 video I did and the Friday the 13th ranking. So I'm going to do some more stuff like that. And just let me know in the comments what you'd like to see. Because, if you leave it up to me, it's all going to be sci-fi and horror. So, yeah, leave that down in the comments. And until then, I'll see you next time. This is Andrew. We'll see you down the line.